We have all been stuck in this conversation. You are facing someone who is demonstrably wrong, yet they are speaking with unshakable certainty. Your first instinct is to correct the record. You reach for a mountain of researched facts and provide the nuance necessary to show them where they've gone off track. But the evidence never lands. Your logical points bounce off them as if they are shielded by an invisible wall, and they continue their argument without altering a single word. Our frustration in these moments comes from a false assumption that we are engaged in a rational debate where information is being processed and weighed. To understand why facts are useless here, we have to look past the argument itself and examine the mental framework of the person delivering it. This level of certainty in the face of contrary evidence is the defining symptom of cognitive rigidity. Cognitive rigidity is a psychological state where a person is unable to think flexibly or accommodate multiple perspectives, making the conflict a matter of psychology rather than logic. To understand how a rigid mind operates, we have to look at how it calculates its own level of skill and knowledge. This chart illustrates the Dunning-Kruger effect, a cognitive bias where people with the least knowledge report the highest confidence. Competence tracks along the bottom, confidence vertically. The mechanism is a structural blind spot. Lacking expertise, they lack the analytical tools to recognize a mistake. This overestimation is a mechanical flaw in human cognition. They aren't necessarily lying or acting out of malice. They simply cannot see their own errors. Since their brain is incapable of measuring its own incompetence, their aggressive certainty feels like a reflection of objective truth from their perspective. This problem escalates when the rigid mind is forced to process new information that challenges its existing beliefs. A flexible mind acts as a dynamic sorter, adjusting to fit complex information. A rigid mind uses a binary system, recognizing only uniform black or white squares. When a multicolored fact hits this rigid sorter, the system jams, completely blocking input to protect the internal model. This blockage acts as an emotional firewall. Because the brain relies on its mental categories to feel safe and in control, a fact that doesn't fit the system is processed as a direct threat to the individual's survival. For the rigid thinker, identity is tied to the concept of being right. A contradictory fact triggers an immediate emotional panic, as the brain desperately tries to defend its sense of self from what it perceives as an attack. The loud, table-pounding certainty we see is a desperate defense mechanism. It is a tool used to maintain emotional control when their fragile mental framework is threatened by complexity. Once you see this mechanism for what it is, the image of the loud, dominant debater changes. This behavior reveals a mind so brittle it cannot accommodate the existence of a conflicting thought without risking a total emotional collapse. Engagement is usually a waste of time. Logic cannot extract someone from a position that was built using raw emotion to protect their identity. In your next encounter with absolute certainty, look for the emotional firewalls being raised. Save your mental energy. Instead of fighting a fruitless battle against a broken operating system, simply choose to walk away. The ability to absorb nuance and acknowledge what you don't know allows you to navigate the world's complexities without the constant need for an emotional defense.